Hello, everyone. My name is Bill Flanagan, um, data management GIS solutions provider, independent consultant. That's my contact info, LinkedIn, my phone number, and billstheperson@yahoo.com. And notice it's a person, really recognizing the fact that we're really focused on personalizing by simplification, taking in the concepts of data management and data analysis and data analytics and simplifying them through teaching, training, and consulting. I'm going to, I just finished a YouTube video here, a fuzzy matching key segment. This is the actual link here to it, and it's the intro to uh, this whole concept of fuzzy matching and the importance and significance of what a key and segment is. I'm going to go ahead and continue. This is the second part of that. Let me go ahead and get back into Alteryx here. And what we were looking at is we just basically followed the flow of a data stream with 4 records, and we looked at um, using the name and using the existing template of name with, and so looking at that, we recognized the fact that we're generating a key for each word. So Bill Flanagan, William Flanagan, really is going to generate a key for Bill, generate a key for William, generate a key for Flanagan. And what the keys are, back to summarize back to what we were talking about in the original video, is a key really is, think of it as the same concept as a segment, a group, a bucket. I'm building these keys based on these algorithms. A double megaphone, for example, is taking and breaking up the word into symbols, letters, symbols, based on the rules and logic of a double megaphone, and generating these small keys so that we now have these little buckets of similar things that we can say, bingo, here's my bucket, and within that bucket now I can perform the real heart and soul of matching, which is the things below here, the actual match function. And where I'm going to use these match functions is to match, score, and within that threshold determine whether or not I have a valid and good match. So we looked at the keys that were generated, and we can see that these keys, the buckets, i.e. buckets, we can see we have the one for Flanagan, the last name here, so therefore we're going to be putting together the Bill and the William and the Billy, and so the end result of after we run it through the paired group, which is going to organize the IDs and get any IDs, for example, 1 is equal to 2 and 2 is equal to 3, we'll get 1 equal to 3, so it's organizing all of our matching IDs into a nice unified sets that we can view them, and we can see that our exam coming straight from the default using the name, we end up with a good match of William to William, William to Bill, William to Billy, and then Joe to Joe, Joe by itself. So the next thing is just to show you this concept of, and to follow through on this concept of how keys can really affect the matching. I'm going to take this same example that we just looked at, exactly the same. The only thing I'm going to do different is say I'm not going to generate a key for each word. So that's going to take and generate one key for Bill Flanagan and one key for William Flanagan. What's going to happen when you generate those keys are once again creating the bucket for the actual matching algorithm to work within. William and Bill won't be grouped together into a bucket and therefore won't be part of the actual matching process or the matching function. Look back here, they won't be. And inside the matching function, we notice we do have the common nickname. So that's part of this match function. The fact that they're not the keys that are generated, if we look at the results of the key, we can see that the only keys that are generated that are similar is the PLFL, which is for Bill and Billy. So we're able to, using the matching algorithm, generate a similar similar key or bucket, and so those two will be considered a match. Look at our final match results, and we can see, yep, William just to William, Bill to Bill, Bill to Billy, and then Joe by itself. So just by changing this concept of the key to, instead of individual keys or individual buckets, to, based on first name and last name, we said just make one bucket for the first and last name and one key. And we're seeing that we're missing in those buckets, we're missing the components that we wanted. William and Bill end up not being matched. We take a look at this example here. I'm just going to use the first name instead of the first and last, and you can, as would expect, you're going to see the same results. We're going to see that first name is generating these keys. The only key that's going to be similar is the key for Bill and Billy, and those are going to be the only two things that match. If I take that one step further, the name, and I say last, it's going to produce, when we're using two different fields, it's going to take and say, I'm going to generate a key, and the key is going to be the concatenation or the combination of these two, first and last. The double or the double metaphone of the first and last into one key. So you can see that that's going to create keys, the ALM/FLNK. Those keys that are generated based on that still will eliminate, because William and Bill are part of the key. They don't fall within any of the, William and Bill won't fall within the same match key and therefore the same bucket, and then not be considered for the match. So the only matching we're going to get out of that, using those, the key of first and last name, is the Bill and Billy, but it's the William is all by itself. Take this one step further over and look and say, well, what if we take and say, you know what, I'm really creating what I want to think about is creating this segment, this bucket, this key. And I just want to take all the last names and say, if the last names are similar, then I want to really do the fuzzy matching on the first name and last name. But I want to get I want to make sure that all the first names are included in that same bucket. So I don't generate a key. I'm not going to generate a key for the first name, and I just generate the standard key for the last name. So we can look at the results, and you can see that we have a nice clean key building here. We have the key for the last names are all the same, so the match key or the grouping key as we see it is all the same, so they all fall in the same bucket. Net result is they all end up being matched. William to William, William to Bill, William to Billy, and then of course Joe not matching. So the final example here we're going to look at and say, this is really more of a logical approach. And the logical sense is, no, I'm not going to match and build a key on the first name here. I'm going to use some sort of really geographic or some sort of better sense of bucketing. So we just, for example, zip, I could use zip plus the street name, or zip plus the house number and the first letters of the street name, first two letters. Anyway, there's creative ways of building these buckets so that I do include everything inside of that bucket that I need to be doing the fuzzy matching on. So we take, in this case, I'm not going to generate a key on first. I generate a key for the zip. Net result is, look how nice and clean our match keys are. And we end up with a nice clean, same results that we ended up with over here. But I'm just demonstrating that building the key on something more specific, more geographically oriented, produces the results that we're looking at: William to William, William to Bill, William to Billy, and then of course not Joe. Thanks for listening. The next part of this, we're going to talk more about the actual matching algorithms. But that's, I hope you got a good understanding and understand the significance and importance of the actual building the key, building segment, key segment in the group properly so that the actual engine itself, the matching engine, matching functions can have the right records to look at. Thanks.